Hey everybody, and welcome back to More Than Just Kicks. We are going to be picking things back up. I know there has been a slight delay with my last post, and just updating you all with where I have been and things like that. So we're going to get right into that. For this episode, we are going to be talking about having the courage to do it. And with that, it's so many different topics of life, so many different experiences and things like that. So with that, with creating this topic and trying to find the talking points for this episode, the word anxiety just kept coming to mind. Anxiety, anxiety, anxiety. And with that, I took it upon myself to get the correct definition for it instead of displaying what it is that I felt anxiety to be. And it stated, emotions categorized by feelings of tension, worried thoughts, and physical change. With that definition, that's exactly how I was feeling. I was just consumed by anxiety. And I'm going to get into more detail about why I was feeling that way. And that's also, well, I'm not going to say also, that's the main reason why there has not been an episode posted for the month of April. We are now ending May, and this year is going by so fast. But I felt like I started this, so I had to continue with it. So linking this with a song that I'm sure you all haven't heard, and Doechii, she has her song. It's trending all over TikTok for those of you who are like me and just scroll TikTok. Lyrics that stuck out to me from that song are, anxiety keep on trying me. I feel it quietly, trying to silence me. My anxiety can't shake it off of me. So with that, I want to get into where I've been. As you all know, well, at least for those of you who have been tuning in, the last time I posted an episode was in March. Here we are in May. The delay was pretty much because I felt discouraged and not really wanting to continue on with this. I just had those feelings based on a lot of things. And a lot of times we get so caught up in our minds and the lack of interaction that we may receive or whatever the case may be. For me, there were a number of things, and it wasn't necessarily lack of support or anything like that, because whoever's going to support you is going to support you, and I'm a firm believer in that. But it was more so of me getting inside of my own head and not knowing if I was supposed to be doing this still or if it was even worth it at this point. And it was just a whirlwind of emotions that I felt that just began to consume me. And with that, anxiety came into play, and I needed a break, really. And with that break, it allowed me to understand that with what I'm doing, it's for somebody, okay? And with that being the case, I know that this episode is going to be for somebody as well. Though I'm recording this and somewhat venting to you all, this episode is mainly for me, but I know it's going to help you. The anxiety did come into play, as I stated, and I wasn't in the mood. I no longer felt like I was supposed to be doing this. I no longer had the energy, just a number of things. Did record an episode for the month of April, but I did not post it because it just felt rushed. It was going to be me just putting something out there just to say I put something out there. And if you know me, that's not how I roll, So I wanted to make sure that with what I was saying made sense and it was of substance, okay? Because I don't know who all is watching or who is looking for me to say or do certain things with this platform. So I do hold myself to a high standard when it comes to producing things before I put it out there. Now, I will insert a couple clips from what I did record, and it's not going to be much, but I will insert it just so you all can see. But it just wasn't me. I didn't feel like myself, so it's like, why am I going to put something out there and I'm not giving you tea? It was just something to say that I did, and I just wasn't happy with it. So with that, I decided to just take time for myself, not put anything out there, and just kind of go back into my thoughts and understand why I did decide to begin this podcast anyway, And with that, don't mind me, I do have some notes here. I made sure I had talking points while we were in so that I could really just be transparent with how I was feeling. So speaking on what it is that I wanted to share, I also came across this phrase. Though I've heard it before, it came to me again during this process, and it is be anxious of nothing. Now that's easier said than done, especially with life and the things that we're trying to accomplish for ourselves, the things that we are wanting to do, the things that we may see on the internet. And it's like there's so much pressure that we put on ourselves. And with that pressure, we actually allow the anxiety to consume us. And it just came to me that we're more than likely responsible for our own anxiety. And now I'm not trying to preach to you all in any way, in no way, shape, or form am I a preacher, but I am a thinker. And with thinking, it allows me to just break things down, see things differently, and also allows me to help myself through certain situations that I have had, or things that my friends may go through and they come to me for advice for. In order for me to get back in front of this camera and get back in my groove, I really had to dissect that and understand what that meant for me. And I began to kind of rush myself, and I had such high expectations of this while I was not considering the fact that all good things require time and growth and development, and you have to nurture it and you have to love on it the way that you would want to be loved on. So I have to just make sure that I'm loving on me, loving on my project, loving on what it is that I am wanting to produce so that it is able to reach those who need it. And I can only hope that I'm doing my part when it comes to that. So with that, the next thing that came into play with this whole process was me telling myself to keep going. And with that, you have to understand that challenges are going to come into play. Life is hard. You have to be willing to keep pushing beyond your limits at times. And if you want it bad enough, you're going to make that happen. So with making these types of sacrifices for yourself, you have to be able to, like I always say, find comfort with being uncomfortable. And that's where I found myself. I kind of just felt like I was in a box. I'm trying to move, trying to find my groove, but I just couldn't do it. So now I believe that I'm back in a place where I'm able to do that, which is why you now see me in front of this camera again. So therefore, I feel like I'm able to make something happen, And I can only hope that if you are someone who is struggling with allowing your dream to come into fruition, or if it's a business that you're running, if you're a parent, if you're a part-time trainer, whatever it is, whatever your story may be, whatever it looks like for you, I'm just here to be of encouragement and let you know that it's not the end of the road. And if you started something, it's only up to you to finish it, because you started it for a reason. And that goes for me as well. I started this, so it's up to me to finish it. Nobody else. It's up to me to do it. Now, I've had questions of, when's the next episode? Why haven't you posted anything? And things like that. Even my mom has asked, okay? So I guess I was doing something right. But I know that I needed the break for me. I know that I needed to regroup. And I know that this is something that I'm supposed to be doing. With that, I know there are distractions, and oftentimes we get so caught up in the what ifs, the lack of support, the support that only comes from certain individuals, the funding, whatever it may be for you, okay? Whatever it may look like for you. Don't allow that to stop you from getting to where you want to be with whatever it is that you're working on. And also, even if it's something that has been done a million times before, even like with me, for example, with this podcast, there are a million podcasters out there, okay? And nobody knows me. Maybe you. But outside of that, it's going to take a while to get to where you want to be or where you feel like you should be. Whether you're a business owner, a beautician, a rapper, a singer, poet, an artist, whatever it looks like for you, don't allow yourself to get so caught up in what others are doing. Just because they're doing it that way or their way, you have to make sure you find your way. And with finding your own way, that is going to be the tool that you need to set you aside from everyone else. You got to find your own uniqueness and you got to make it your own, and you have to own it. And until you're able to own it, you're going to be stuck. And I was feeling stuck. Now, granted, after this episode, I'm not saying that I'm about to blow up because that's not my expectation. Just being realistic here. But what I'm saying is, if I don't keep going, why did I even start? So with that, and understanding that challenges are going to come into play, it's up to us to break up with those distractions. A couple weeks ago, I posted on Instagram, and in the caption, I stated, "Life happens, distractions come and go, but we have to keep moving." Once we're able to find a way to overcome those things in life, I ran track, so jumping hurdles, even though I wasn't a hurdler, but you get the analogy there. That's when we're able to come out on top. I'm not saying that it's going to be easy. I'm not saying that you're going to have the support that you need along the way all the time. I'm not saying that distractions will not continue to come, because it will. It's life. But you have to be willing to put up a fight in order to overcome these things. I'm here to tell you firsthand, it's not easy, okay? Not easy at all. But in the end, it will be worth it. And you have to learn to do it with support, learn to do it without support, learn to do it when you don't feel like doing it, when you feel like nobody is even watching you. Still do it. Because it's always going to be someone who's rooting for you even when you don't know it. You have to understand that everything that is hard is not final. And that's something that I heard while watching a service on YouTube, and Pastor Frederick Ward stated this. And with that, though it's going to be challenging, like I stated before, that doesn't mean that that's the final outcome, the final feeling, the final result. You got to be able to take those challenges head on in order to get to where it is that you want to go. You can't reach the top of the mountain if you're just looking at it. You got to climb it. You got to be able to find that willingness within yourself to keep going, to push forward and make things happen for you. Because if you don't make it happen, who's going to make it happen? So with that being said, I'm here to encourage you to not to delay your dream. And with that, no matter who you are, no matter where you are in life, if you are someone who's creating things like me, if you're someone who's taking a different avenue, if you're someone who's looking for a job, if you are someone who's 45 plus, whatever your age may be, and you feel like it's too late for you, it's never too late. Go ahead and start what it is that you have in your heart to do and make it happen for yourself. Because if you don't, you're going to continue to live life in regret and wondering what if. So as I always say, it's time for us to find comfort with being uncomfortable and make it happen. So until next time, more than just kicks. Love always from me to you.